What's good, Detroit Sports Nation? I am Eric Vincent, your host here at the DSN News Desk. Thank you for tuning in and showing your support today. We greatly appreciate you as we check it in on another night for NBA basketball with the Detroit Pistons as they come up a little short tonight against the New York Knicks with a final score of 121-112 at Madison Square Garden tonight. Pistons dropped down to a 3-10 record on the season, but I'm okay with everything that I saw. Not everything, but I'm okay with how things ended tonight. Because again, what have we talked about? I'm okay with losses. I can deal with the loss this season. I can deal with a bunch of losses this season. But what do we want? Watchable basketball. Competitive games that actually give us a reason to invest and watch on a night-to-night basis. And you got that. It wasn't perfect, but you got a good game tonight from the Detroit Pistons. And I can tolerate a final score of 121-112. Why do we get so frustrated with the Detroit Lions? Because they give you an unwatchable product every week. Even when they win, you still scratching your head wondering if what you saw was real. We just saw that with the Green Bay Packers last week when they beat them. You don't get that with the Pistons tonight. This was actually something that you could watch and hang your hat on and feel a bit encouraged about. There were a lot of good things that happened today, and I really think that everybody should be able to rest easy knowing that the Pistons gave their best effort tonight. A lot of things were very surprising. To start off, Cade Cunningham did not play. He looks like he's dealing with a left shin injury, left shin soreness, I believe. That's a mouthful to get off. So he was sitting down as a precaution. Corey Joseph started in his absence, and luckily he only played 5 minutes, so we didn't have to stop and worry about Corey Joseph. But outside of that, in Cade's absence, you got a lot of good things out of the Pistons today. You got 8 players in double figures, led by Bojan Bogdanovic with 25 points. He didn't hit a 3, but his mid-range game, his ability to create on his own and to do other things to get his shot going, he was very effective again. 25 points, 13 points for Beef Stew, 11 points for Sadiq Bey, 10 for Jaden Ivey, who kind of got off to an okay start but dipped off a little bit. Alec Burks finally made his highly anticipated debut for the Detroit Pistons. And I know it's so crazy, but knowing how bad the bench has been playing this week, and we're going to go in a little bit more depth about them soon enough, this is a very encouraging day to see by him. As a sixth man, this is the kind of value that you wanted to see. 17 points off the bench, 5 of 12 from the field, only 1 of 5 from 3, but you could see the way he was playing, the real value that he's going to bring to this young, inexperienced Piston bench. He is exactly what this bench needs, because while you have Killian Hayes, who we want to see be more aggressive and have the ability to hunt after his shots and be more aggressive and looking to score, and he did do that tonight. He scored 11 points, shot 12 times, scored 4 times out of it, only 1 of 6 from the free throw line, but did other things too. Got 6 boards, 7 assists. Killian was all over the place. But again, for Killian, you don't want him being your main scorer off the bench. You want to be able to support him with other guys around him. That's where guys like Alec Burks come in. Guys who can stretch the floor, play catch and shoot basketball, and can also take some pressure off of Killian by bringing the ball up himself, creating his own shots, creating shots for others. We saw him drop off a lot of passes to Jalen Duren to try to get him some easy looks at the rim. You saw Isaiah Livers get a lot more spread out and get some easy shots. He's really been coming on over the last few games, and I'm really happy with what I saw from him. And I'm really happy with what I saw from the rest of the bench as all together. 13 points from Hamidou Diallo. 53 points off the bench for the Pistons tonight. Again, a total of 8 players in double figures, and the Pistons have one of the worst bench units in the entire league. Somehow due to injury, of course, but a lot of it was just due from their incompetence as well. They're not very good. So the most important guys, Burks, who played his behind off tonight, and Marvin Bagley, who should be back soon, is going to give this team a much-needed boost, especially off that second unit. I was really impressed with what I saw from the Pistons tonight. I really think you guys should be encouraged as well. They didn't, unfortunately, get enough stops. Defensively, it's still a problem for them. And dealing with guys like R.J. Barrett, who scored 30. Jalen Brunson, who seems like a really good fit with New York, scored 26. Julius Randle, seeming like a good fit now with 21 points. That big three really shouldered a big chunk of the load against the Detroit Pistons tonight. And unfortunately, the Pistons weren't able to get enough stops. they're not able to withstand against teams like the Knicks who have experienced veteran talent around them. Not necessarily RJ Barrett, who's still kind of an up-and-comer. He's not necessarily a veteran in his third year, second year of his career. So he's still stepping in. But when you have a Jalen Brunson, a point guard that's been there, done that, and is comfortable being the focal point of your offense, Julius Randle, and like these other pieces around him, like Derrick Rose, Quentin Grimes, Fournier, like those veteran pieces, even if you don't see it in the box score, they mean a lot for a young team or for young players that are trying to develop and establish themselves. And you're seeing that with the Pistons right now when they get guys like Alec Burks in the fold, when they get Marvin Bagley back. You're going to see the different kind of production that the Pistons are capable of in games like this. They might not always come out with victories, but they are coming out competitive. We keep talking about it. We keep hearing it from Coach Casey. We keep hearing it from the players. We heard it from Troy Weaver throughout the offseason. This team wants to be competitive, and they should be. They should be. You might not win everything, but you should at the very least be looking competitive. And they did that tonight. They're still getting to the free throw line at an extremely well rate. 41 times, made 31 of their 31 attempts out of their 41 attempts. Very, very good production there off the bench. As well as we spoke about, they tried to play a little bit quicker with Jaden Ivey filling in as the point guard for Cade Cunningham, and I think that's where he excels best because Cade is a lot more methodical, and he still doesn't have, I think, like the tools to really play an upbeat transition offense. It's not really a whole lot of guys that run. Like Bojan's not really much of a runner. Isaiah Stewart's not much of a runner in fast break transition. It's just Cade, Sadiq, and Jaden Ivey, and that's not enough. You want to see some, lob threats go along with him. Again, when Jalen Duren hopefully is starting in the starting lineup sooner than later, you'll be able to see those plays turn out more often. We saw with Marvin Bagley last year. Some of the biggest and most cool highlight plays of the season came between Cade Cunningham and Marvin Bagley in transition, throwing him lobs. Marvin Bagley really, it's crazy to say just because of where these Pistons are and the players that are most anticipated. Coming into the season was just the rookies, Cade Cunningham, the third year Sadiq. We weren't really looking for Alec Burks or Marvin Bagley to necessarily be the super X factors for this team. But now looking at how they're structured and seeing how they play, they're going to carry a lot of weight on where this team develops and where they go. Because you're seeing a lot of things kind of set in. You're seeing Bojan's consistency as a scorer. You're seeing Cade's comfort getting a little bit more easy as he settles in as the primary decision maker as the point guard for the Pistons. Jaden Ivey finding where he fits in. Sadiq becoming more efficient and more effective in terms of scoring and getting to the free throw line. This is now where you see those veteran pieces around the young foundational talent around for the Pistons. This is where you see the veterans fill in those cracks. You see what a Marvin Bagley can provide. You see what an Alec Burks can give you. You see Isaiah Livers stepping in, being that 3-and-D wing that they need. You see Hamidou Diallo giving you, energetic points and plays off the bench where he's, tracking down hustle plays, getting nice dunks in transition to ignite the crowd or silence the crowd. Whatever it is, they're filling in on their roles. And this is how teams fill in their identity. The Pistons were not able to do that because of the players that they were missing. And you're now seeing with this kind of production, which, again, it may not be an every night thing, but it shows you what this team is capable of when they're at full strength and gaining continuity with each other. They weren't able to get that for a lot of the chunk of this season so far, but I think now you're going to start seeing some wheels turn, especially when they're about to go on a West Coast trip soon. They're really getting into the thick of their season because you're now in the middle of the season. It's not the beginning no more. You are a young team that is now going to get used to the adjustments of the NBA, the travel of the NBA, the duration, all the adjustments of what it takes to become a successful and productive NBA team. This is what they're going to have to go through. And as they learn their roles and identities and gel together, you're going to see more games like this. And in due time, they're going to go from these 121 to 112 losses to victories. It's going to take some time. They're going to go through these lumps. They're going to go through these battle scars. But they're at the very least checking off the box that they said they wanted to start the season, which was being competitive. And at this point, with them being the third youngest team in the NBA, that's what you want to set your hat on right now. A competitive team that's going out against anybody and everybody, putting up their best fight, and showing that they can compete with the best of the best, the other up-and-coming young teams, anybody. You want to see them rise to the occasion every single night, at the very least. And I like what they did today. Again, we don't know what we're going to see for the rest of the season. Hopefully it's more reminiscent to this. We don't want to see these blowouts keep piling up. That's hard to watch. We can't get a whole 82 games of that. So hopefully they can keep coming competitive and give us a good product to watch. So even despite the loss, I'm going to give the Pistons their credit for a good game tonight. Really excited to see what they do before they get on the road for this West Coast swing. I believe they have the Boston Celtics next on their schedule. They play in a lot of games where they play either back-to-backs against the same teams, or they play a team one night, then another team the next night, and then they come back and play that same team a couple days later. So yes, the Boston Celtics, they play them tomorrow, actually. They're back-to-back. They come back home to play the Celtics at LCA. Hopefully we can turn out a victory and get this little momentum rolling for the team. But talk to me. I would love to hear from you in the comment section. What are your thoughts and feedback about what you saw from the Pistons tonight? What did you think about Alec Burks? His first time stepping in a Piston uniform. Played against his old team too. There's a lot of pressure against him to go in the Garden to play against his old team in his first game with a new team this season. And he comes in and gives you 17 points off the bench. I'd love to hear how you guys felt about his performance. What you thought about Killian Hayes, who looks like he's still feeling a little bit more comfortable. What did you think about what you saw from the Pistons tonight? Please talk to me in the comments so we can chat about it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Help get us closer and closer to 5,000 subscribers. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit subscribe right now to make that milestone happen for us at DSN. We would greatly appreciate that support from you. Make sure you tap in on our social media as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the above. Search and follow Detroit Sports Nation. And make sure you follow your boy as well at I am Eric Vincent. Again, we are unloading some new content for you very soon. We're going to change the structure of the news desk in due time. We're covering a little bit more outside of just Piston basketball. Talk to me. What do you want to hear from us talk about in the comment section? What do you want to hear from the news desk? What do you want to hear from us in terms of content? We bring in everything to you, and we're trying to make it as great as possible. And we can only do that with your support, which truly means the world to us. Thank you for tuning in and tapping in with us here at the DSN News Desk. I'll be back soon enough right here with another update just for you. Peace.